Hey, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Vanda, founder of the Period Makeover Solution and Fertility Maximizer. So, you're doing everything you're supposed to do. You're doing all the things, you're doing all the right things. Why is it that you are not pregnant yet? What I typically see women doing before they work with me, they are using apps to track their cycle. They're using LH or ovulation strips. They are going to Google to ask questions about how I can get pregnant faster. How do I know when I'm fertile? How do I get my hormones tested? They're going to Facebook groups, asking their friends, does this LH strip look positive enough to you? Do you think I'm at my ovulation peak today? The problem with all of this is that these tools are great, but they do not give you the whole story. They're not allowing for you to see the whole picture. The things that get missed commonly in a fertility related case. So, someone that is struggling to get pregnant after 3 or more months of trying, mineral deficiencies, heavy metals, a full workup on a woman's hormones, and then a either impaired or weak ovulatory cycle or just ovulation in general. Like, it might be every cycle that this is happening. Those things get missed because we're not digging deeper. I did an episode a couple days ago about how standard standard advice is to not really do anything until you've been trying for a year. And then they might start to do a workup on some of these things. Even then, they're not going to touch minerals. They're not going to touch heavy metals. They might do some hormone testing, and then they're going to put you on medications and then tell you if that doesn't work, come back and we'll talk IVF. Um, the reasons that, that's so frustrating. And I touched on this in that episode is that there's so many other things that we can be doing and be working towards instead of just saying, let's kind of force this with medication. Um, One of the biggest things that I see my clients come to me confused on is when they're fertile, when that fertile window really is, how they should time intercourse during that fertile window. Big mistake that I see people making. I had a potential client I was chatting with actually earlier this week that told me that they were, she was like, we're doing, we're doing all the things. I'm testing my LH and then we're having sex the day that we, see my peak. Well, that's only part of the story. That's only part of the fertile window. The fertile window is the 4 to 5 days before the peak happens, and then the 24 hours after. And I don't want to get in the nitty-gritty weeds of a lesson on this in this episode, but I do want to touch on it briefly because it's very important and it's really important that you understand it when you're trying to get pregnant. So, sperm can live in the body for 5 days. That's why we have this 5 to 6 day window. When we see the LH surge happen, or you see that positive ovulation test, which that's what that is checking there, that LH surge is what triggers ovulation to happen. When we see the surge, that doesn't mean that at the exact point of surge that the egg was released right then. The actual egg release happens within 24 hours, and then that egg itself is going to live for 24 hours or be viable for 24 hours. If sperm doesn't meet the egg within 24 hours, we've lost our chance for this month. So the timing is crucial. And because we have this ability for sperm to live and survive inside of us for up to 5 days, the timing of intercourse prior to ovulation actually happening can sometimes be even more important than having intercourse and introducing sperm there on the day of ovulation. Because especially when you think about other factors such as like the motility of the sperm and how fast can they swim and can it really reach the egg before the egg viability is over. That's all factors that we have to take into consideration. And I guarantee that are multiple people listening to this podcast episode right now that has been trying to get pregnant and struggling and has never had what I just explained about the fertile window and sperm and, how long the egg is viable and things, never had that taught to them before. Nobody is teaching you that stuff. You have to seek that information out for yourself. And like, congratulations. Pat yourself on the back because you are taking action and you are seeking that type of information out for yourself. That's a great thing. It's a great thing. But it's commonly one of the reasons why you can try for months and months and months and not get pregnant when there's still not, quote, anything wrong or anything like medically, structurally keeping you from getting pregnant. It's not like later on you get a workup and you find out like, oh, well, actually your partner's sterile or you had a blocked tube or something. Like there's no, like physical reason why you're not able to get pregnant. It's a timing issue. Now that's only part of what I've talked about today in terms of like what other things get missed. Those mineral deficiencies, the accumulation of heavy metals, all of that can be a fertility blocker when it is, it's not being addressed. It's uncovered still. We don't even know that it's there, so we're not addressing it. And again, I just want to reemphasize that those are not things that are getting addressed or even investigated through traditional fertility care. And luckily for you guys, since you are in my world, I know a few things about you. I know that you are interested in a more holistic and functional approach to your health in general, but specifically your fertility. Why else would you be listening to this podcast? So you already know that there are options, and it's one of the big reasons why I created Fertility Maximizer in the first place, to be able to kind of meet people where they are so that they could get out of this cycle of wondering like, well, just maybe next month will be my month, but they didn't really adopt any type of new strategy. They didn't have any new information basically that would impact or influence the way they were going to try to get pregnant the next month. They were just hopeful that things would come together and it would be their month and they would get their positive test. There's nothing, I try to be very careful in how I word things and the way that I say things, because there's nothing wrong with being hopeful. There's nothing wrong with being prayerful and believing that when the timing is right, it's going to happen. There's absolutely an element of that to this, but there is also the sciencey side of it of like, yes, when the time is right, it will happen. But we also have to be taking steps at the right time to give ourselves the opportunity for a, you know, successful fertilization of an egg to happen and then successful implantation to occur. There's so many things that have to line up in order for a woman to get pregnant successfully and the pregnancy be carried out in a healthy, successful way. It's really fascinating. I remember when I was in nursing school, gosh, it's been so long ago, like 15 years ago, when I had my OB class, just sitting back and like for the very first time realizing truly what the miracle of like pregnancy and having a baby truly is, because I was for the first time learning a lot of these things and realizing just how incredible it is, like how many little things have to add up and be timed perfectly for this to happen. It truly is a miracle. And you guys know, unless you're a brand new listener to the podcast. And if you're not, I apologize. I should have started with this earlier in the episode, but most of you guys have been listening to the podcast for a while and will have at least listened to last week's episodes and know this. But right now I'm in a promotional period for the Fertility Maximizer program for summer. And I put together 2 really fun, juicy bonuses for summer that you're going to get totally for free when you sign up for the program by June 30th. I made a whole episode about those. It was episode number 112. Just the one before this. So go back and listen to that if if you want to know what those bonuses are. But I invite you guys, especially while this promotional period is going on, when you could sign up for the program and get, these great additional bonuses for free. I want you to think about whether you are really getting the information that you need to successfully give yourself the best chance at getting pregnant this month, this cycle, next cycle, however you want to talk about it. Like, what would it look like for you to not have to guess anymore? To not have to wonder if you need to order that supplement that Susie Q recommended to you a few weeks back because her cousin took it and she got pregnant immediately. Not have to wonder, like, well, am I really ovulating? And if just because I have this positive, LH strip test, I know that doesn't mean that I've ovulated. So, like, how do I know? I want someone to look at these things with me. I wish that someone could tell me what this means. I wish somebody was here to answer this question for me. All of those things are why I built Fertility Maximizer so that I could give that type of support to women that are in the stage of life of trying to get their family started. They're trying to get pregnant. They want it so badly and they're just struggling and they need a little bit of help and they need a little bit of support. And I just think that the standard is not enough. Women deserve better. Women need better. And I'm so happy and honored that I get to deliver that in my Fertility Maximizer program. I love all of the clients that I work with, and I get so close with, especially some of them. We're working really intimately together for at least 8 weeks, sometimes longer, and we're talking about really intimate aspects of their life, literally. And it's just I wish that even though, like, I don't know, I wish that I would have had a person like myself when I was trying to get pregnant, especially for the first time. I had no clue, like, what to expect, what my body was doing, what my hormones were doing. And I know that that's a missing piece for a lot of people. Just wishing that you had someone that you could send over a question to directly instead of having to Google or ask a friend and not really know if their answer is like true and factual versus their answer was just happened to be their personal experience. So, if you also are interested in that type of support, please do hop over to my website, visit the Fertility Maximizer page, get yourself signed up so that you get to take advantage of these summer bonuses. Again, just as a very brief reminder, like, again, if you don't know what they are, why I created them, then click back to the last episode and take a listen. But um, it's 4 additional weeks of support for free and the 90-day sperm boosting guide that you can hand off to your partner and help them boost their fertility. Not all the work should be on you. There's in 40% of cases, there's a male factor in an infertility issue. So we need to be mindful of that. We need to be sure that we are addressing that. And that's actually, I'm going to do a whole podcast episode probably next week about male factor infertility. So I'm going to leave you guys there for today. I hope that you guys will take advantage of this promotion this summer. Grab these bonuses while you can get them. If you have any questions at all, you want to talk with me before you make the decision of whether you want to sign up or not, then in the show notes, there's always a link to book a consultation call with me. I call them a Happy Hormones Clarity call. Just book yourself a spot on my calendar. I have availability this week. And let's chat about it. So I will leave you guys there for today. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.